Joining me in the Marketing Week Live studio is someone who is certainly no stranger to Marketing Week audiences. It is Ed Pilkington from Diageo Europe, Marketing and Innovation Director. You've just been talking on a panel about generations. Tell me more about how that went.
Yeah, no, I think it was a good panel. So basically, it was about the so-called, should we say, the older guard. Yep. So the those who are doing sort of a bit roles like mine, who may be a little bit older, and some of the maybe millennial type marketeers who are coming up. I think initial conversation was a lot around digital. Yeah. So shall we say digitally native marketeers versus digital immigrants, which is what I technically am apparently.
Well, I mean, we're talking today about how Marketing Week is itself 40 years old, and the journey that the industry has been on over 40 years, and digital, certainly the last half, maybe third of that really, really hardcore. But for people who've been in the industry for a bit longer, that means the whole industry, or a lot of the industry, could have quite fundamentally changed. Yeah,
it has. I mean, this is probably the big debate on digital, isn't it? Digital is great, but it's a way that enables us to live a fast-paced life and communicate one with each other. And if we're selling brands or marketing brands, it's a great way of obviously building our brands. But that's it. But the interesting thing, if you go back to some of the basic principles of marketing, so some of the stuff I read in Marketing Week, some of the stuff I write in Marketing Week, it comes back to the principles of you still need to shape strategy around brand strategy, business strategy. It might be social strategy, it might be digital strategy, whatever it might be. You still need the fundamentals of it. Brands need to be clear on what they stand for, their positioning and stuff like that. Yes. And digital is just a way of enabling us to basically communicate effectively and in many cases now sell a lot of our brands.
Different additional channels.
Additional channels, which is what it is. So I think if you go to the generational piece, one element, digital is great. It's great having people who are much more digitally, I say, native than other people, but our job who didn't grow up in that era necessarily. But it's not like we're digitally illiterate. Exactly. Most of us run around with two phones to do it. And I think it's that classic case of if you are so-called a little bit more senior, big part of your role is to ask the right questions, to know what's going, to shape. So one, for example, a good example of me, a year ago, I'm not an expert on data, but what I do know, we need great data strategies. You bring people in who are good at data to create data strategies. I learn by doing that. I learn from working with people who are brilliant at data. I learn from people who are smart at a lot of these areas. It really helps me. So my job is a lot to ask the questions and do that, but then you bring the right people in who just love it and are passionate for it and want to create those strategies.
And very quickly, if it's possible to answer this quickly before I let you go, because I know you've got a plane to catch, how does that play out then in Diageo? I mean, you talked from there about data and your approach and understanding the importance of data. Is this generational? Is it marked in terms of the roles that different people have of different generations?
Yeah. Well, I think one, there's a piece which is the marketing department has changed. That's been written a lot about in Marketing Week. Much more. Fewer classic brand managers, more generalist brand managers who are general managers of their brands, and more specialist roles. The specialist roles tend to be filled by younger marketers because they have that expertise. So people are expert at social, people are experts at digital, at data analysis. So that's how it is. So if I look at my team, I've got some quite senior people who run our categories and our brands, who are good, who are digitally savvy. I've got a lot of people in data analysis, social experts who are younger, different generation, because they're good at that. Their job is still to shape strategy and do all that sort of stuff and learn. So that's how it is. So I think it's a blend of the world has changed, therefore the shape of a marketing department has radically changed. Who does those roles then depends on the skills and the capability.
Listen, Ed, fascinating stuff. Thank you very much for taking time
Pleasure.
out to join us.
Not at all.
Run and catch a plane.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.